you made the comment about Campbell and his injury. I'm going to throw it over to you for the seg because you were the one who brought up like the segue. So go ahead, Bruno. Where were you going with that whole Campbell thing?
Here's where I was going with the Campbell thing, because I saw so many comments on social media. And again, I'm more in the weeds than a lot of people, because you can find me on TikTok, you can find me on YouTube, you can find me on Twitter. I'm always going through the comments section. On Instagram, same thing. I post a lot of content. I see what a lot of Leaf fans are saying, and I saw a lot of people basically blaming Campbell's poor play on this injury, as if he's been dealing with this injury for a long time.
Yeah.
But why don't you actually go and read some of the quotes from Sheldon Keefe specifically, and even Jack Campbell for that matter. But let's take a look at this quote from Sheldon Keefe, okay?
Oh, no.
I'm going to bring this to everybody's attention. So he was asked point blank if Campbell's injury contributed to his poor play. And here's what Sheldon Keefe said. I don't think it's been around that long. Speaking of the injury, I don't think that's anything in play. In fact, he was himself feeling quite comfortable with where he's at. He's just aggravated it the other night, went for some testing, and now going to need some time. So that's what Sheldon Keefe said. Okay. Basically saying that he's not been dealing with this thing during this entire cold streak where he's played like shit.
Yeah.
This thing has not really been an issue. And who knows, maybe Jack Campbell was hiding it to a certain degree. This wouldn't be the first time that an athlete has maybe downplayed their injury, and maybe they don't reveal everything to the training staff because they want to be there for their teammates. They're competitive. You know, they understand, especially in Jack Campbell's case, he understands that he's the number one goalie. This team is in the home stretch of the season. So who knows? But according to Sheldon Keefe, he said Jack Campbell has not really been dealing with this injury for that long, and he's been feeling pretty good for the most part. And he just aggravated this the other night, and now he's going to need some time. So it appears that this injury was not lingering for very long, and I don't think that we can just blame his poor play on, oh my God, he's been dealing with this rib injury for the last 3 months. No wonder he's been terrible. Again, it's probably been a factor, but I don't think it's been as big a factor as maybe a lot of people in Leafs Nation believe it was. So that's my take on the Campbell situation. I hope he gets better, and I hope that, you know, maybe this injury was the thing that was derailing his season, and that maybe when he does get back to full health, he's going to regain his form from earlier in the season, but that remains to be seen. But do you have a take on the Campbell situation at all, Lepore?
Of course I got a take, Anthony Bruno.
Okay.
Well, first things first, it brought me back to the year we signed David Clarkson. And of course, we all remember how poorly he was playing that first year. And I remember thinking, please God, let it come out that he's playing with broken ribs or something, so we have some justification for this. Now, with this Campbell thing and the take that his play has dipped because of some injured ribs, I hate to break it to you, Leafs fans, that's some wishful thinking. That is some hard wishful thinking. I'm going to go one step further, Bruno. I'm not even going to say that this is a minor thing that had nothing to do with his poor play or very little to do with his poor play. I don't even think he's hurt. Wow. I really and truly don't think he's hurt. I think this team, this organization, the management, the coaching staff huddled up and said, we have to figure this the fuck out. I've said on this show many times that I truly believe it's between the ears with Jack. There's no way a guy can go from that level. And when I say that level, I'm referring to all-star level, to where he's been at in the same year, just because all of a sudden he sucks at goalie. No. Between his ears is the problem. Right now, Jack Campbell is telling himself he's a terrible goalie. So this team needed to give him some time off so he can get his head straight. And I'm sure the help is there from the Maple Leafs, because I'm sure they're sitting in that room saying the same things we are. We're on pace for 110 point season. We do not have a goalie. People often say when a team goes into the playoffs, they don't really have a goalie. What that typically means is they have average goaltending. And if they face Patrick Roy or Brodeur, they're going to lose because that team has Patrick Roy or Brodeur. No. We really and truly do not have a goalie right now. And it would be the saddest thing in the world if this keeps going. And this is why this team is eliminated and why this season is ruined. So I think it was a look in the mirror for the organization. And I think they sat down and said, let's give Jack some time off. Let's let him get his head straight, or as best as we can, try to let him get his head straight. We'll provide everything we need to provide because this is a nightmare right now. Nothing short of a nightmare. And I really don't think they're going to pursue a goalie. I can't. Like, people bring out those lists. Like everyone brings up Fleury. Fleury hasn't even had that good of a year. If you look at his numbers, to be fair, he's playing for the Blackhawks who suck. But I mean, it's not like, oh my God, we've solved this now. But scary. It's scary. And I hate to make a comment like that, saying that an organization I support is pulling something like this. But I just think the timing was too perfect that, he's got a rib injury and we're going to give him some time off. I don't think he's hurt, man. I don't think he's hurt. I think it's just a matter of him sitting down on that couch and talking to someone and figuring out how to get this guy to convince himself again that he is a solid NHL goalie.
I'm willing to take the team at their word. And sure, I do believe that he probably has a minor rib injury. If he had broken ribs, he'd be out a lot longer than this. Right. But you know what, Lepore? I don't think you're alone. I really don't think you're alone. I think there's other people in Leafs Nation. I had a friend of mine who texted me something similar to what you just said, thinking that, you know what, I don't even know if Campbell's injured, because you think about what happened even last season with Freddie Anderson and everything that he was going through. Remember, there was just a lot of like mystery surrounding Freddie Anderson last season when he missed time. Remember, they were calling it a lower body injury. And I think it ended up being revealed that it was his knee or something like that.
But Freddie, to be fair to Freddie genuinely didn't look right. You could tell by his body language, like how he was moving around the net. He did look like something was bothering him. But
I remember the same questions were being brought up. Like, is Freddie really that injured? What's going on here? Could there be something else going on that's not related to an injury? And people are going to speculate all the time. But with Jack Campbell, who the hell knows? Because clearly this dude has lost his confidence. He's not the same goalie he was last season, at the beginning of this season. And the goaltending's been a complete joke. And I go over these stats every single podcast just to update everybody. Since December 1st, a span of 36 games, the Leafs have a team save percentage of .883 that ranks 29th in the NHL. And they have an .887 save percentage at 5-on-5, ranking 31st in the NHL. That's a span of 36 games. So they've played 59. So 36 out of those 59 games, they have been getting an .883 save percentage.
I forget which month it was, but someone posted their save percentage month by month, and there was only one where they were over 900. The only reason why you look at their team save percentage, and it's getting lower and lower and lower with every game, but why it's not absolutely and truly pathetic is because there was one month where they had like a 945 or 954 or something. But other than that, everything's been below 900.
Yeah, and that's when Campbell was going nuclear at the start of the season. He had like a 940 save percentage. At one point, it was like 950. Like he was playing out of his mind at the beginning of the season. And I think that's what led to that really good save percentage in October and even going into November. But since the start of December, it has been a complete mess. And it's like you said, I don't know if Marc-Andre Fleury is going to really fix anything. I know it's Marc-Andre Fleury, huge name. You know, he's won Stanley Cups. He's got the pedigree and all that. We all know how good Marc-Andre Fleury can be. But you said it, man. It's not like he's having this banner season with the Chicago Blackhawks. I wouldn't be too confident just plugging him in, even though it is Marc-Andre Fleury, and expecting him to deliver, you know, like a 915, a 920 save percentage.
Yeah. And then even the lower guys, It's the playoffs. It's an experience thing. They brought up Forsberg's name. I think it was on Sportsnet, Forsberg from the Sens. And yeah, the guy's been great. He's having a great year, but I'm not going to be jumping up and down celebrating that we solved the problem if we picked up a guy who went through waivers like 4 times last year, right? And man, goalies are so weird. Someone posted the other day on Twitter. I wish I would have snapped it to see the exact list they had. But you think about recent goalies, and even from last year to 2 years ago to this year. Look at Freddie. Freddie last year, we wanted him gone. Like, it wasn't even a discussion as to whether or not the Toronto Maple Leafs were going to try to re-sign him. He's having a Vezina caliber season. Tristan Jarry was pathetic in last year's playoffs. He was going to get run out of Pittsburgh this year. Incredible. Jack Campbell finished the season incredibly last year. Started the season putting up numbers that would win a Vezina trophy. Now he's fallen off a cliff. It's nuts, man. It's nuts how up and down these goalies are. Like, the word everyone uses is voodoo. That's the right word. You can't make any sense of these goalies. Even Mrazek, like, make all the jokes you want. His history shows he's an NHL goalie. He's a solid NHL goalie. He's having the worst
season of his career, right?
Oh, by far, not even close. I said before on this show, a friend of mine is a high-end goalie coach. And when he was drafted, the Red Wings thought they had Carey Price.